What is going on, guys? Smooth Racing here, back with a brand new video, and today we are doing our F1 2016 driving predictions. You're probably wondering, why on earth am I doing predictions for the 2016 season? But of course, we already know all the teams and drivers for 2015, bar Cater and Marussia, so I thought, why not make an early prediction, just a kind of a crazy Friday feeling of making this 2016 prediction video. I made one for 2015, ages back before, and a lot of them were wrong, but it was a lot of fun, attracted a lot of attention, got a lot of feedback from you guys, really positive feedback, so be sure to leave your comments, leave your suggestions of who you think will be filling the seats for the F1 2016 season. I'm certainly looking forward to it. I know, of course, we're still looking forward to the F1 2015 season, but maybe 2016 will provide the first opportunity for a non-Mercedes championship challenge, winner, hopefully. Of course, we have the Mercedes this year, and it's highly likely we'll see Mercedes winning again next year. So hopefully 2016 will break the duct, and hopefully we'll see a bit closer battle between maybe Mercedes, McLaren and Ferrari. That would certainly be very interesting indeed. Now let's move on then straight into Red Bull. Straight on to Mercedes, and I've gone with Rosberg and Hamilton. I don't see any reason why either of them would leave, or any reason why Mercedes would want anyone different from them. They could sign Fernando Alonso, but he's just signed with McLaren. Why would Mercedes want to change a winning formula? I don't really see why they would, so I'm going with Rosberg and Hamilton. Red Bull, I've gone Ricciardo and Fiat. Fiat's only been 21 in 2016. He'll have a huge learning curve in 2015. He's only had 1 year in F1, and he's already been with one of the biggest teams in his second year. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be tough for him, to crack it. But I doubt anyone else could really replace him. Verstappen and Sainz aren't going to be any more ready than Fiat is for the Red Bull seat, so I think he will get a second year in 2016. Williams, I've gone with Bottas and Massa. Bottas, I'm pretty certain he'll be staying with Williams for 2016. Maybe small possibility he'll go to Ferrari or Mercedes, but I doubt it. I think eventually he will go to Mercedes, but I don't think 2016 will be the year he makes the leap. I think he will stay with Williams for what will be a fourth year with Williams, so that's pretty interesting. And Felipe Massa, I think, will stay on for a third season with Williams. He'll have Nasser clipping at his heels, and we'll have to see, if Massa does perform well in 2015. If he can continue that amazing form he showed at the end of 2014, he needs to show that all the way through 2015, and he really needs to push Bottas more. He needs to prove he is the #1 driver, basically for the first time in his career, because he's always been a #2, and he expected to be a #1 in 2014, and he was a #2, so hopefully he'll be the #1 driver, certainly for him anyway, if he wants to remain in Formula 1 for 2016 and beyond. Move on to Ferrari. This is definitely one of the harder ones to predict. Obviously it's certain that Vettel will be at Ferrari in 2016. I don't see any reason why he would leave, unless of course he probably got an offer from Mercedes, but I highly doubt it. And partnering him, that's a tough one. For me, it's probably a 2-horse race between Hülkenberg and Marcello. We'll probably be hearing this story probably in 6 months' time. Hopefully we see Kimi Raikkonen announcing his retirement. I'd like to see Raikkonen announce his retirement at Silverstone, or maybe, I don't know, wouldn't it be good if he announced his retirement at Spa? Then he could kind of just look forward to the end of the season, just do the best job he can until the end of the year, and then Ferrari, could get on with finding the next big thing. And Nico Hülkenberg, I do believe this is going to be his last chance. He has to get the drive. He's 28 in 2016. He's not going to have much more chances. I mean, Ferrari likes to go with the older drivers with the experience. They always like to play it safe. They don't like to take risks, but taking Raikkonen last year actually turned out to be a massive risk, and a risk that didn't really pay off. They should have gone, with my opinion, they should have gone with Nico Hülkenberg. It was a bit of a, it looked good on paper, I suppose, Raikkonen and Alonso, but certainly for 2015, they had to go with Hülkenberg. I don't know why they haven't gone with Nico Hülkenberg, or even Marcello. It'd probably be, better chance of success by promoting Marcello, but we'll have to see how the GP2 season goes for Marcello in 2015. He needs to do well. For me, he must finish in the top 3 in the championship, otherwise Ferrari I don't think will even consider him. They might just outcast him into the rubbish bin basically, because unless he does perform well, I don't see why Ferrari would really want him. Of course, Ferrari only pick their drivers really on talent, or I suppose on experience as well, as being they don't really look at money, so it's a tough one for Ferrari, but I'm going to go with, I think Marcello will step up. I'm going to go with Vettel and Marcello for 2016. Sorry, Hülkenberg, you miss out again. Let's move on to McLaren. I think they'll go with Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button, and they're already under contract. Can't see any reason why that would change. Force India, this is a tricky one for me. I've gone with Sergio Perez. He's under contract. I'd like to see that, a bit of continuity finally with Sergio Perez. It'd be nice if he actually stayed with a team for more than 2 years. I think he's been at Sauber for 2 years, then he moved to McLaren for 1 year, then he moved to Force India for a year, and of course 2015 will be second year, and hopefully he will get a third year because he's such an exciting driver in Formula 1, so let's hope he gets a seat for 2016. Alongside him, could it be Junder Keller? I wasn't impressed with him when he did the F1 testing. I don't think he was that good. He wasn't that quick. I think he did crash in one of the FP1 sessions, I believe, at Brazil. He's only a DTM driver. I'm not so sure about Junder Keller really as a decent Formula 1 driver. They'd be much better if Hulkenberg's available, just going with him if he wants to stay, of course. So although it seems unlikely, I'm going to go with Hulkenberg over Perez. It could all change in 2016. It's just so hard to predict. But I'm going to go with Perez and Hulkenberg for their 2016 lineup. Certainly very quick. And wouldn't it be great for Force India to get a bit of continuity going? Something we haven't really seen from them. Of course, we saw Sutil coming in and out. We saw Di Resta coming in and out. We've seen Lewicki, Fisichella. We've seen various drivers at Force India, come and go. They've all been really good drivers, in my opinion. Sutil, Hulkenberg, Di Resta, Perez. Some really quality drivers for Fisichella. They always go for the people based on talent, and the people based on talent deserving of the seat, as it stands now for the 2016 season, is undoubtedly Perez and Nico Hulkenberg. Could go with Jolyon Palmer, I suppose, as well, but I don't see that coming, really. I don't see Palmer really being an F1 ever, sadly, for him. And, Anyway, let's move on to Toro Rosso, Verstappen and Sainz, end of story. Some miracle that, I don't know, Verstappen... The only thing would be if Verstappen absolutely flopped, then they probably change him mid-season anyway to Pierre Gasly. If Gasly really does need to perform in GP2, and if he does, then I suppose 2017 may be the first opportunity for Gasly. Maybe if Sainz and Verstappen doesn't perform, then he's ready for pounds for 2016. But I think Verstappen and Sainz. Just to point out, Gasly is the only Red Bull member left apart from Alex Lynn. Who it seems like Alex Lynn's kind of left the Red Bull driver program. Him being shunted out of a seat, not looking likely he's going to be staying with Red Bull. Apparently he's going to be a Lotus test driver for the next season, so we'll have to see with Alex Lynn and Gasly, but looking likely it'll be Verstappen and Sainz for 2016. Now the next three are hard, really hard to predict anything basically with them. Let's look at Lotus then. Well, Romain Grosjean, who'll be 29 at the start of the 2016 season, that would be his 5th season with Lotus F1 team. I mean, look what he's achieved in his years with Lotus. Great in 2012, great in 2013, really poor in 2014. The car was anyway. Grosjean was fine, really. It was hard to judge how well, how good he actually was in the 2014 season with such a poor car. But it's going to be interesting for Lotus. Who are they going to choose? They've got Ocon, Sorensen, Maldonado, all on their books. It's going to be tough. I'm just going to throw it out there. Grosjean on Ocon. I think Ocon's a massive talent for the future. If he can win in GP2, win races in GP2, there's no reason why, Lotus should just take the leap of faith. Just take Ocon, for God's sake. Someone, please just take a risk once in a while with an actually decent driver. I know people take the risk with Verstappen, but I would just like some more teams just to take risks with rookie. I think it could really pay off in the future, if people do that. Of course, there's still Van Dorn. You've got Kevin Magnussen. All these drivers wanting to see, where do they all fit in? It's like a jigsaw. And there should be, you've got to follow the jigsaw. There's only 22 slots, but you've got like 30 pieces, which ones do fit, and only certain ones can fit with certain pieces. So, it's going to be tough for Lotus to decide, but they've certainly got plenty of drivers wanting that seat. So, let's just hope they make the right decision. I'm going with Grosjean and Ocon. Sadly, the end of Maldonado in Formula 1. Personally, I think he's actually going to be 31. So, he's been in F1 long enough, hasn't he, really? I mean, I'm backing him to do well in 2015. I'm going to put a crazy prediction out there for Maldonado to do well in 2015. But, it's tough. I'm going to go with Grosjean and Ocon, lock that in. From the Haas, that's difficult. I don't think they should sign Conor Daly or Alexander Rossi. They've been really poor for me. From what I've seen from them, they're not the best racers. They're really struggling for pace. It'd be illogical for them. It'd be like, if someone said, if you signed Negrão from GP2, everyone would be like up in arms. Why are you signing someone but, didn't even finish inside the top 10 in the GP2 championship? But then if they signed Rossi, everybody would be like, oh yeah, that's great, because we know him as a Marussia test driver. He's, really well liked, and for some reason he seems to have loads of pace, even though I've seen nothing from him in GP2 but would suggest he has any pace. compared to you know, his rivals, but wanting that Formula House seat. So for me, Rossi and Daly would be a logical choice. I don't think, you know, I think Gene Haas knows that as well at the moment. I don't think he's going to sign them. For me, Vernon Sutil would be a really good lineup, although I think, you know, the usual formula for a new team that works for me is an experienced guy and a rookie, and of course they're two very experienced guys. Probably Vernon is probably the pick of those two. Certainly the much young driver, still with a lot more to give to Formula 1. So what I choose is Vern and someone from GP2, anyone from GP2 or Formula Renault 3.5. Or you could go with two experienced guys. I don't know. I'm just going to... Crazy prediction. I'm going to go with Vern, and I think they're going to go with Peak. That's Arthur Peak. He's been doing really well, and I think if he can continue to shine, he could get his way into Formula 1. A bit of a crazy prediction out there, but that's what I'm going to go with. Sauber, I'm going with Nasser. He should get a second year. And Ericsson, Ericsson basically. Can't see anyone. I mean, we're going to get to the stage probably again in kind of 8 months' time where we're going to probably have like 9 drivers all wanting that Sauber seat. Many of them backed heavily, but anyway, then for Sauber, I think I'm going to go with. Actually, I think I'm going to go with. I'll go with Nasser and Magnussen as a crazy prediction there for Sauber. But anyway, then I've made all my predictions for the 2016 season. Be sure to leave yours down in the comment section below. I know it's very difficult, but it'd be great to give it a go, and maybe we'll look back and see how wrong we were, or possibly how right we were, but probably more likely wrong. Anyway, I was Racing then, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.